Well, it's a very long text and it's complex, and we wanted to be able to take opposition colleagues through the detail of it. We've agreed that we'll meet again in coming days when they've had an opportunity to digest the text, and if they have other queries. We have annexes and protocols we were not able to go through entirely, so this takes time.
What would you say to their criticism that they're disadvantaged because they hadn't seen the treaty text before yesterday?
Well, I would say it's exactly the same criticism that the Spanish opposition is putting and that the UK opposition is putting, except that we have actually advanced the Gibraltar opposition in showing them the text and in trusting them on what we would call in the life of politics Privy Council terms, which means confidential. And against the leader of the opposition's undertaking not to share that text more widely than his members of parliament. These texts are not public yet, and therefore they cannot be seen by people who are not in that ring of confidentiality at this stage until the relevant high contracting parties, the European Commission on the one hand, and the UK government, are ready to start the process of publication. And for treaties, there is a process because, of course, there are lots of things that have to be done internally in the government of the European Union, the European Commission, and the government of the United Kingdom, which are a precursor to publication of treaties. Those things are historic, they have to be gone through, but nonetheless, we as a government have wanted to share with the other elected members of the Gibraltar Parliament the text through this mechanism. Could we have shared it earlier? Unfortunately not, because there wasn't a stable text, where there were still live issues, and therefore there was no point sharing it earlier, even in sharing the bits that might have been stable, which were less relevant than the bits that were not stable.
One of the things that the leader of the opposition said yesterday was that it's in a scenario where the current situation is politically charged. Do you think that this will make parliamentary debate perhaps harder, less civil?
Well, it's the leader of the opposition who's charging the debate. If he charges it less, it'll be less charged. I mean, we've all known each other for 35 years. We started in politics together. We have a relationship where we can say things when the cameras are rolling, and have a relationship when the cameras are not rolling. And therefore, we are able to say, well, on this issue, we disagree, and on this issue, we agree, and on this issue, we fight. Even when we've been dealing with, for example, motions which might have been more or less controversial in the past month in Parliament. We've also been doing legislation where we haven't just been voting against each other, etc. We've been looking at the terms of the legislation. The difficulty with modern politics, Christine, is that people switch off when things are not highly charged and when we're agreeing with each other. And if we're working together on a text and we're looking at things together in the interest of Gibraltar, nobody really cares because we haven't called each other a name. And politics shouldn't be about calling each other names. But the theatre of politics, unfortunately, is about calling each other names. This is not an issue on which we need to be calling each other names. This is an issue where my generation, Keith's generation, Joseph's generation, and Damon's generation, all the same generation, have an obligation to get it right for future generations.
Chief Minister, are we any closer to knowing, obviously we've briefed the opposition at this stage and there are briefings taking place. The date of the treaty publication, the treaty text publication must be closer. Are we any closer to knowing perhaps when the treaty can actually be signed?
Well, look, you know that the UK Parliament is about to go into a short recess. You know that this can't be published whilst the UK Parliament, at least by the UK, whilst it's in recess, because publication is a parliamentary process in the UK. You know that the European Commission has a process that indicates that we are days or a little bit more away from publication, and the kick-off process for ratification. Ratification really is the signature that matters. And so we're all now in the compressed, concertinaed timetable of 10th of April EES publication before it's coming. I know lots of people looking forward to seeing it. Be careful what you wish for, because it really is a doorstop.